I want to talk about the point of conception. And I believe that I came here to have fun. Joyful, expanded fun. And it hasn't been a lot of fun a lot of times. And when I was born, I realized that maybe I made a mistake. And that it might not be as much fun as I thought it would be. And I've had struggle over the time of wanting to expand and feeling afraid. And feeling inside so expanded and wanting to play so much. And almost like this body or this environment pulled it down, even though I know on some level that's impossible. And I'm wanting to expand even more beyond that, beyond which I ever have before, even though I feel like before I came in, I was expanded there. So then I think, what did I come in for if I was in that expanded place to begin with? And I'm wanting to expand beyond that, yet along the way I've embodied so much more wisdom at the cutting edge of creation. And so I want to have more fun. And can you help me have more fun and be more me in front of people and not be afraid?
Well, there's so much we want to give you. The key to having fun, really, and you came round to it with the last part of your statement here. When you care about how other people are responding to you, it sort of sucks the fun out of life because you can't control their response. And even worse, if you're trying to stand on your head in a lot of different ways in order to be appealing to them, sometimes then you begin serving that master rather than paying attention to your own guidance, and so you get out of balance. A man came to the chair one day and he said, I told my friends I was going to ask a question and they told me I shouldn't, but I'm going to anyway. He said, why does the dog stick its head out the window of the automobile? And risk getting bugs in its eyes? And we said, because the ride is so worth it. And so sometimes our physical friends say, let's see, do I have this straight? I was pure positive energy. I was in a place of non-resistance. I came forth into this physical experience and deliberately exposed myself to contrast. Can you remind me again why I would do that? And we say, the thrill of the contrast is in the birthing of the rocket. And you got to remember that when you decided to come, you knew you were going to ride the rocket. We're not dumb. Did you hear that? In other words, you came knowing that you were source energy who would be inspired to more, and you knew you would follow the path of that. And you did not expect to get crossways of that current because you knew you had guidance within you that said good feels good and not good doesn't feel good. In other words, you trusted your guidance. So we know sometimes that you come forth depending upon the environment that you are born into. Sometimes people say, well, why would I choose that environment? Because I don't think it was the best choice for me from where I now stand. And we say, from your non-physical perspective, you were not so particular about the specifics of the environment into which you would be born, because you knew under all conditions you would be inspired to more, and you knew you had guidance that would help you get that. And you knew that the stream was never ending, and so you didn't really care where you put your boat in the water because you knew about the stream and you knew what it would ultimately lead to. We show you how to move through life, and we think it's nice when you become students of deliberate creation and you live a little contrast which makes you want something and you easily line up with it and then you get it, and then you have a little contrast which makes you want something and you easily line up with it and you get it. But there is something also, and you seem to like the drama of this, most of you, something to be said about knowing what you don't want, which causes you to really know what you do want, with a wider spread between the vibration of where you are and what you are asking for. It just makes for more drama, more fast movement of the stream, and more conscious awareness of relief when you turn. In other words, when you're feeling mostly good, most of you don't work very hard at feeling better still. We watch Esther. She doesn't work at it anymore. unless she gets feeling bad, and then she really, really works at getting feeling better. When she's in her place of hope or belief or knowing or joy, she's not really consciously reaching for more and more and more, and yet it's all there available for you. And we want you to understand that you like this contrast because of the life-giving properties that it offers. We want to start with where you began by saying to you that you're extremely sensitive to energy, and that's a good thing. That means you've been aware of the relationship between where you are in any moment and who you really are from the moment you were born. And unlike most people, that sensitivity was never muted with you. You've always had that stronger sensitivity. And so what that means is when you get cross current, you take it harder. Most people who are surrounding you are appreciating a condition that makes them feel good. They say, I'll vote for that. And they don't appreciate the conditions that make them feel bad. And so then they become those who seek to control conditions. It never works, but they still try. They try to control the conditions so that they can feel better. And when you were born into an environment where people around you are attempting to control conditions, what begins to happen is you notice their response to you. So you begin to perform in ways that please them. Yeah. You can't do it, but you try hard because you're an uplifter too. So you perform in ways to try to please them, and in the process you lose your orientation about your own stream. So then, now we're answering the fullness of your question. So then what happens is you're pure positive energy, and this is who you really are, pulsing over here, but you're in an environment over here and you say, this is not so much fun. Why would I come? So now we want to break it down to you in very simple terms. We want to say, you knew you were coming into contrast, and the contrast is really a wonderful thing because the eternalness of eternity is only because the contrast causes the desire to be born. So it is a wonderful, wonderful thing. But you all really intended to manage your contrast better. You didn't intend to let there be such a gap between it, and you didn't intend to know what you don't want so vehemently that you hold yourself for long periods of time in resistance to your ever faster moving stream. So that really is the answer to the question. So now you know. Now some are saying, I can hear you out there, saying, well, why would it be set up that way? Why wouldn't we remember? Why wouldn't our guidance be keener within us? And we say, you're all born knowing it. And so the question that you want to ask yourself, it's really not too important, but it answers this question. At what point did I begin to care less about how I felt and begin to care more about how somebody else felt about something that I was doing? And your society is so determined to control you, to mold you. These are the formative years, they say. And we say, too bad about that, really. The formative years, the years when you call your child away from self-empowerment and self-alignment and start holding up hoops and offering rewards or punishment about them jumping through the hoops. Because the problem with that is you've got a set of hoops, somebody else has got a set of hoops, the teacher has a set of hoops, the society has, everybody's got this different set of requirements. And so it's early in life that most of you begin to say, I've lost my way. This is the time of awakening. You never needed to lose your way. And if you had allowed yourself to be selfish in the way you were born, do you know that you are all selfishly oriented? Do you know that every single thing you want is for one reason only? You think you will feel better in the having of it? Whether it's money, whether it's an experience, whether it's a lover, whether it's a relationship, whether it's circumstance, events, no matter what it is, everything you want is because you believe that in the having of it, you will feel better. You are selfishly oriented. You cannot help but see through the eyes of self. That is your perspective. But when your perspective of self gets you crossways of the perspective that you really have of self, that's when it's uncomfortable. And that's why a lot of people say, I feel strange in this land. I never felt like I belonged on this earth. I always longed to return to that other feeling, and I have glimpses of it, but I can't get back there in a very consistent way. And we say, now you can. Now you understand that always what you've been longing for. You find so many ways to try to fill that gap that don't fill it. The only thing that fills that gap is vibrational alignment. Buy one more thing and bring it home, drink something, eat something, shoot something. In other words, Esther will say to Jerry on occasion, tell me a story, because she just tell me the story of our new house. Tell me the story. What was it you liked about that? Tell me what it felt like to drive into that drive. Tell me about that beautiful wildlife preserve that surrounds it. Tell me about that beautiful ocean view. Tell me about what it felt like. Tell me about the land. Tell me about how we can park our bus on it. She wants him to tell her the story because all she has to do is listen and she can feel good. And we say, tell your own stories. It's nice that he will tell her the story. It's nice that there are others around you, but when you become dependent upon somebody else to create a condition or to create an environment or an atmosphere where all you have to do is observe and then have a feeling response to it, you lose your empowerment because you can't count on them to show you things that cause you to close your gap. So what life really is about is knowing about the gap, knowing about your guidance system, being selective enough in the thoughts that you choose, whether you're focused past, present, or future, by choosing things based upon the way they feel, which means based upon their vibrational countenance, which means based upon your point of attraction, which means now you're in control of all things. And innately, you have always known that, and it makes you crazy not to be there. You are a lover who must love, and when you're not loving, you can't bear it. You are an uplifter who must uplift, and when you are not uplifting, you can't bear it. You are a being of light, and when you are dark, you cannot bear it. In other words, you must be who you are, and you've just been pickier and more sensitive to that knowledge for a longer period of time. And now you're on your way. You have conscious awareness of what to do.
Yes.
Yes. When you get tuned in, tapped in, turned on, the solutions arrive about the same time the problem does, and so you don't have all that struggle over it. When you understand that all things are orchestrated from that broader perspective because it's a vibrational world, and you start tending to your vibration, then you start enjoying the problems because they are the catalyst to the solutions that give you so much joy in life. What a wonderful thing that life gives you the opportunity to play with others in this dance of expansion that you are all about, you see. Yes. Good time for a segment of refreshment. We are complete.